Professor Chandra talked about the institution which was there before the Open Institute was established. I'm not looking at the political initiative, but we had this external services agency at that time of the then University of Sri Lanka, one university for the whole country. It was established in 1972. So it had several programs, mostly related to technical and science and mathematics. The methodology comprised, of course, print as is to be expected, practical and laboratory work, and face-to-face teaching. It was therefore an example of the correspondence model of education. And then in 1980, the slide was absorbed into the newly created Open University. Open University was created in 1980, slide was also absorbed there. Again, our main medium of instruction was print, with a few radio programs being used by the Sri Lankan Broadcasting Corporation after 1980. Later, we established the state-of-the-art media house donated by JICA and used multimedia learning materials. So at that time, although the multimedia materials were still being used sparingly, OUSL had attained the second generation of open and distance learning. Of course, I joined as Harsha said, the Open University from the conventional university. I was in the University of Colombo, Faculty of Education for 21 years. So I said I had attained professional adulthood at the University of Colombo. I was 2 years a temporary lecturer at the University of Gunawardene. In fact, I remember before joining Open University, there was someone who came from India for her research and asked me, what do you aspire to do? I said, senior lecturer. So I was comparing myself at that time with people like Prof.Chandra, who were very eminent and research oriented. I was saying, how can I ever attain that kind of status? So that was the aspiration at that time. But then when Open University advertised the professorship, I thought I will apply. And Colombo University at that time had one professorship for social science education. And I could have been a contender, and there was another one. So a colleague. So he said, I will not apply, you better stay here. I'll make sure that you become the professor of social science education, stay there. And all the others said, why do you want to leave University of Colombo and join an inferior university? That was the word used, inferior university. So anyway, in spite of their comments, I decided to apply. And of course, I had worked with Professor Elsie Kotalawala earlier. She was my teacher at Peradeniya. So I knew that, if she would opt to come to the university, why don't I do that also? So I am looking really at access to higher education and quality of higher education in relation to us, Open University of Sri Lanka. I looked at the UGC document in 2017. Now I found that in 2017 there were 15 universities and 5 other institutions, higher education institutions, which had enrolled 44,450 students in their undergraduate programs. At that time, Open University had 24,346 students, undergraduates. In postgraduate programs, total number of students enrolled in 14 universities, some postgraduate institutes and other institutes, except Open University, was 32,318. We had Open University and the Postgraduate Institute of English, 8,112. Thus, 35.4% of the total undergraduate students and 21% of the postgraduate students were from the Open University of Sri Lanka. I think that's very impressive. Although we charge fees, government doesn't give money, but various things are being said, but we have done what was expected of us. And also we cannot forget, as Prof.Chandra mentioned, that we are providing access to 24,346 students enrolled in certificate and diploma programs, which allow them to move up the ladder. This is what we call the ladder of opportunity. That was from the Open University only. And to whom are we giving this opportunity? To those who do not possess sufficient qualifications. They have A level or whatever, sufficient level of qualification to enroll in the conventional university system. And we have our regional centers and study centers, which enable students to participate in their programs close to their homes and contributes to extending access to the students who are residing in different parts of the country. In fact, I was supporting a tracer study done in 2010, which showed that the graduates and postgraduate students of the Open University had very positive perceptions regarding their programs. And at one point of time at the convocation, for the law program, there was a daughter and a father who got the undergraduate degree in law at the same convocation. So this is what we call lifelong learning. It's not restricted only to the people who complete A-level and get into university. So I think the value of ODL lies in this fact, that it enables students who are disadvantaged and who fail to perform well enough at GC O-level due to failure to enroll in the best schools of the country. We know how the parents try to bribe the teachers, schools and everything and get the students into the best schools in the country. Or due to low socio-economic status, residents in disadvantaged areas, or because of poverty, to pay for tuition and obtain a higher education. So we are catering to such students who are disadvantaged. These are the students who cannot get enrollment in private education institutes or foreign universities. We know how many foreign higher education institutes are there now. In fact, I was the chairperson of a review committee which looked at Bachelor of Education programs to be offered by 5 non-state higher education institutes. Because they have the facilities, they have everything. Curriculum, we said this is not good enough. But who are the teachers? All are teachers who have retired from other universities or from the National Institute of Education. They don't have a permanent teaching care. Then if you look at the quality of ODL in higher education, as I have been requested to speak of my experiences, I can share with you one incident. I was at that time not a dean, I was the head of a department. The dean was Professor D.A. Kotalawala, who passed away very soon, and Vice Chancellor was Lanka. Because I had engaged in several research studies with Professor Swarna Jayavira, I was dismayed by the type of research or lack of interest in research of the academics in my department. No research was done. They sign in, they sign off. They do mostly academic coordination work. So I said, I did not ask for advice from the Vice Chancellor or the Dean. I said, all of you academics in the Department of Education can stay back one day of the week and engage in your research studies. But after 1 month I monitored. I found that no one had started research work. I said, I'm very sorry, but I have to withdraw this concession. But I was thinking, but maybe Professor Danta Jessica did not know about it, or even the dean. But perhaps if another Vice Chancellor had been there, maybe I would have been called for explanations and warned even. You never know. So these are things. So in fact, in relation to that, I will say, administrators, university higher education administrators, we have the vice chancellor and the deputy vice chancellor. You have to make sure that work is being done as expected, but you still have to be sympathetic. Sympathetic because there are certain issues that happen to various people. You have to act humanely. So that is, especially if you are an academic administrator also, this has to be done. But even though I was not able to make people start their own research, I think I was able to muster some of the academics in my department and later faculty, even junior academics, to join me in collaborative research and participate in local and international research conferences. I'm happy about it because some of them have become professors and some have become deans. So this is very good, that kind of collaboration. So if you look at the quality, we know that institution reviews are being done by the UGC. Of course, I did a paper on the institution review done across the university system. Some, of course, I could not get access to. Open University at that particular time, that was I think about 3 years ago I did this study, had performed satisfactorily only on 3 aspects: university goals and corporate planning, financial resources and management, and university industry, community and other extension is for learning resources and student support, and research quality management and administration and quality assurance. It was awarded B's. And if you look at the subject reviews department, at that time, Open University had performed reasonably well, with 47.2% of the departments given A grades, another similar number given B grades. Only 6% of the departments had been given C grades. Recently I heard from that humanities and social sciences, 2 departments have got A's and the other 2 departments B's, and similarly from education also, which is very positive. We are not stagnant, we are not stagnating, we are going forward. So we also know that, as Professor Sriyananda mentioned about that, he made the students think and he made the students learn. This is very important, especially for a developing country like us. Now, we need to change this system where the predominant emphasis is on subject matter, which leads to regurgitation. After studying all that, you vomit it out at the examination. That has to change. And to an emphasis on developing ability of learners to deal with real world problems. In fact, my own supervisor, PhD supervisor at that time in Australia, now he's in USA. So he was talking about his nephew. His wife is Indian, nephew, who came from India, and said, excellent person in computer. He said, he came home, he is not interested in visiting Harvard, Massachusetts Institute of Technology or sightseeing. He is only interested in using the computer and doing computer work. He was saying, why come to USA to do this? You see, no holistic education. So that was the comment. So now the real world problems, what are they? We look at these every day on television from the newspaper. They may be connected to employment, especially graduate employment, human rights or social cohesion. Therefore, and also, in fact, at the faculty board I asked, when the money was being recommended or asked for the purchase of library books, I asked the librarian, assistant librarian there, do you keep a record of how many people use the library? At that time we used to. I'm not sure it's being done anymore. Because you dump millions of rupees buying books and putting them into the library. We don't know whether our students use them or the staff uses them. So but then at the same time, we know that ICT is a very vibrant tool, which is now more or less at my age also, with my white hair and disability, I am using, my husband always complain all the time glued to the computer. So that's how it is. But okay. But especially for the development of our society, in the field of higher education, we need to read, we need to update ourselves. We cannot forget about, we can say we have the PhD, we have so many studies, we cannot rest happy with it. I can also, I would like to mention about the initiative done by the Dean Education, especially on the use of OERs, MOOCs, and ICT, and where it is here that learning and teaching becomes very significant. So these resources serve to enable learners and teachers to access, use and share high quality teaching learning resources and strengthen the quality of teaching programs. That is very important. In fact, when I go for other meetings with other universities, I have to say, open university does all this, open learning, you submit assignments through the internet. So why can't you also do that? So that has been done. So perhaps now we can be happy that we are at the 4th or 5th generation of ODA, as suggested by Taylor. Shironika would know that. Then I think I am not suggesting that we should compete with universities to get a higher rank. But there is the ranking of universities is a pertinent issue when we look at quality. Also, you would know about Times Higher Education, THES ranking, which is being published every year. Universities, it's done on 5 aspects: teaching, research, citations, industry income, and international outlook, and gives an overall score. I would like to emphasize the fact it's not only research, it's citations also. We do research, but have anybody else read your research? Citations is very important. And I have striven to make education faculty members understand that their tasks should not only be to conduct research and publish them as OUSL publications. This is important because it will go into the library. But you have to write articles based on this research and publish them in refereed journals. Without doing so, how can we get any citations? I am a member of the Social Sciences editorial board in the National Science Foundation, Social Sciences Journal. Every day we get articles. From where? We have a scope, only South Asia, but we get articles from Indonesia, Malaysia, all over the world we get, but very few from Sri Lanka. Why is that? Humanities and social sciences. Very few articles are submitted. Whether they are selected or not is a different matter. But very few articles. In fact, the chairperson, Dr. Srimalithanayan, recently commented on this at a public seminar, saying social scientists in Sri Lanka do not publish, do not send any articles to us. But in the fact, because of the proposals, budget proposals, which indicate that the best performers at A-level will be granted scholarships to the leading universities in the world. Leading universities. 14 only are identified, I think. Okay? So, what are we doing? Now, we are saying, okay, I remember when as a member of the social sciences or high humanities and social sciences committee in the UGC, when I asked for pardon, so they give incorrect information and said, no, you have only these number of students. So I said, it cannot be. I contest. I said, I have all the number of students in the university registered with us. you have to give us card. So somehow you fight and manage to get it. So that is how we should be. We have to articulate our concern and somehow try to get what we can. And now in relation to ranking, 2018 ranking PHES, the only Sri Lankan university which has been ranked above 800 is the University of Colombo. That's all. But we perhaps cannot compete with them or try to do that. But we have to improve our ranking. And then, of course, I said administrators have to be sympathetic at the same time. We all of us know that when an academic joins the university, the motivation is to become a professor. But we cannot only gather points for a professorship only. We have to develop our junior academics and then say, this is what you should be doing, monitor them and do them. And also, make sure that professors are committed and do, I myself did the roles and responsibilities for academic staff when Professor Nandanidisila was the Vice Chancellor. So even professors have some tasks to do, but it may differ from a professional lecturer. So make sure that you are doing what you are supposed to be doing in developing the other staff. Especially if you think some junior academics have potential, make sure that you develop them as much as possible. Thank you very much.